listen, we take celebrities more seriously. We take celebrities more seriously than we do our leaders. And when celebrities say something that goes against the narrative and the establishment, the elites, the government, they all freak out. You have to ask yourself another question. Are those celebrities on to something? Are they on our side? Nicki Minaj. That may be a digital crush of mine, but my wife would murder me, so let's just pretend it's not. But listen, Nicki Minaj, somebody you wouldn't expect. I may listen to her tunes once in a while working out in the gym. You know, sometimes on the Stairmaster, you got to bust a sweat to Barbie tings. But listen, folks, listen. I digress from my awkward music habits, and I go on to something serious. In an upside down world, a world heading towards populism, a world that's heading towards what the larger group, what tribe, what clique has the most popular idea with the most momentum behind it, while we compete with each other, while we have warfare in the classes and new groups that are made, division instilled upon us. We don't trust our leaders, and we trust celebrities. We trust Nicki Minaj, even though she's on our side with this one, even though she's on the side of free speech. We trust Nicki Minaj more than we trust our leaders. In the case of Joe Biden, I would trust a homeless man's shoe. That's right, a homeless man's shoe. His brown, dirty cartoon shoe. You can picture it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I would trust that shoe to not have crack rocks in it. I would trust that shoe to not have a hole in it. A homeless man's shoe. It depends what neighborhood we're talking about. All right. There's different things in different shoes. But I would trust that shoe more than I trust Joe Biden. So it's no surprise that we trust these celebrities. But we've found ourselves again in this alternate reality, in this environment. Did it start with MTV votes? Do you remember back in the 90s when we were all pissed off and we're like, what the F does Aerosmith have to do with my vote? What the F does Collective Soul? I don't know. I'm rattling off 90s bands that might have been on MTV. What the hell do they have to do with politics? I don't want to hear what, I don't know, Destiny's Child has to say about my vote back in 1999. Did that have something to do with it? I don't know. Maybe it was. Actually, it must have been social media, because social media has given everybody a global platform and expanded the celebrity of these people by 100 times. It has to be 100 times. People like Nicki Minaj wouldn't have had the same traction that they have now 10, 20, 30 years ago. You know it. I know it. It's the absolute truth. But anyway, regardless, I'm not going to talk too much crap. I like Nicki Minaj. I got nothing really bad to say. Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, all those people, they all seem to be on Trump's side anyway. And they're all about making money. They're all about capitalism. So I really think that it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, if Hollywood is going to all be against, if everybody's going to be on the far left, if all of these celebrities are going to drop hate and bombs and try to cancel all of us and silence all of us, if a couple of them come to our side and say, hey, free speech is important. Hey, why the hell are we not doing the right thing by allowing people to express their ideas and opinions? And then when the establishment rains hellfire from the sky, rains down a fire of hell from the sky and buries them with it, absolutely destroys them with it. Well, maybe just maybe, we'll get a Nicki Minaj using her vast millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, that thing that you and I both don't have, and use that as a weapon against the left. We can only hope that these celebrities get so angry, so disgruntled, so pissed off with the establishment that they aim their well-financed legal teams right at big tech, the mainstream media, and the U.S. government. All right, that's a rant. It's a long-winded rant. It is what it is. But Nicki Minaj herself is saying that you need to open your effing eyes to COVID censorship. The Twitter ban is making me think that there's something bigger going on. This is from the National File. This is Jack Hadfield coming from the National File, all right? It's a good resource. It's a good website. But Nicki Minaj is telling you to open your effing eyes. She wants you to open your eyes to the COVID censorship. And you have to ask yourself, when the president is holding something like remdesivir, and we know ivermectin seems to be doing a good job. We know hydrochloroquine seems to be doing a good job. There's a lot of studies that show that it works. Joe Rogan took the stuff. It seems to work. But remdesivir also works. It's just more expensive. It just makes them richer. But remdesivir does help a lot of people, just like the other things. And Joe Biden's restricting it to Florida to try to force Governor DeSantis to bend to his evil will. So if the president can literally murder old people in Florida by restricting treatments from them just to get back at Governor DeSantis, who's slowing down the president's evil takeover, his evil socialist takeover of the country. Well, then I think Nicki Minaj may have a point. I think she may have a point. Let's find out a little bit more about what's going on with Nicki. I got to ask myself if I should do the Nicki Minaj accent, which is probably really bad. I'm really not good at it. But if I should read her lines in I think she's got like that New York accent. I don't know. After being temporarily suspended from Twitter for questioning the COVID vaccine pop star, Nicki Minaj encouraged Americans to open your effing eyes. I guess I don't know if that's close to the censorship. I think that might be closer to, what's her name? I might be thinking of that, what's the one? What's the lady's name? She's a stripper. Cardi B, that's the one that talks like this. She basically is the female ghetto equivalent of this accent right here. Anyway, Nicki Minaj encouraged Americans to open your effing eyes to the censorship currently happening in the West, adding that her ban made her think that there's something bigger going on. Minaj, the Trinidadian-born pop star, has made global news in recent days for tweeting in support of medical freedom, explaining that someone she knows became impotent after taking one of the controversial COVID vaccines, and then urging her followers to pray and weigh the benefits of getting vaccinated. In response, globalist media outlets became enraged at the star, with only Tucker Carlson and other pro-freedom outlets defending her. On Wednesday evening, Minaj even tweeted out a clip of Carlson defending her, causing an even greater backlash from pro-vaccine defenders. Shortly after posting the clip from Carlson's show defending her tweets on the COVID vaccine, Minaj was temporarily suspended from Twitter. In a post to Instagram stories, Minaj said that just as she was about to post a poll on the site, she realized that she had been put in Twitter jail because they didn't like what she was saying over there. In an email to National File, Twitter claimed that there had been no enforcement action taken on her account, casting confusion as to why Minaj was not able to post. Minaj proceeded to go live on Instagram, slamming the censorship from Twitter just for asking questions about the COVID vaccine. Quote, "You can't speak for the fear of the mob attacking you," Minaj said. saying it should give people chills up and down your effing spine, comparing what happened to the oppression of Christians across the world and other authoritarian regimes. You should be able to ask questions about anything you're putting inside your body. We ask a bunch of questions about the most simple things, but you just can't innocently ask a question about something going in your body. I remember going to China and they were telling us you can't speak out against the people in power there. I remember all of us thinking, oh, okay, well, we understand and we respect the laws here and that it's so different where we live. Don't y'all see that we are now living in that time where people will turn their back on you? People will isolate you if you simply speak and ask a question. And that's some real truth. Nicki Minaj, I don't care whatever you think of her. What she's saying is really true there. Really true. And that's a picture of Nicki Minaj. Well, hello, Nicki. Anyway, in what may not be a surprise to some, the picture was distracting me again. In what may not be a surprise to some, Minaj added that many other musical artists feel the same way as her, but they're afraid to speak up for fear of the same backlash happening to them. Quote, I will never use Twitter again, she added, noting that her ban from Twitter was making her think that something bigger is happening with the censorship in general around the COVID vaccine. I kept on seeing all of these people with all these conspiracy theories, and I was like, oh, what? Please. But what in the world scared y'all that made y'all disable my effing Twitter? I have not put out anything that I said was a fact about anything. I simply said, we should be able to ask questions and speak. It's scary when they start telling you that you can't ask questions about anything. Listen to me. Please open your effing eyes. Open your eyes. That's all. This story fits in well with the American Reveille. As you know, Reveille is a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call. She's saying, open your eyes. Part of waking up is opening your eyes. You see how I did that? I put it together. The left likes to do that with news. They like to use crazy logic to relate things together and make things happen. But that's not what's happening here. Nicki Minaj is making a great point, and she's speaking up for free speech. And the left is trying to bury her for it. But she has a platform of 20 million fans, young people and people around our age group alike, who will learn from it, who will defend her, and might just change their point of view, which really is what the left is scared of. They're afraid to lose their grip over basically pop culture in general. When somebody like Nicki Minaj defects from the leftist narrative, something is to be feared. Something is to be feared. And speaking of something scary, well, not to everybody. I like heavy metal, but heavy metal, Megadeth, Dave Mustaine, he's the singer of Megadeth. They got that song Sweating Bullets from back in the 80s or 90s. Hello, me. Meet the real. Anyway, just don't even get me started. It's part of a song. I don't know if you listen to that type of music, but Dave Mustaine, he's a heavy metal singer. He's the front man of Megadeth. He says masks and lockdowns, they're tyrannical. And we have the power to change things. And he's right. Look at these celebrities all standing up for months and years now. All we've seen are basketball stars. You know who I'm talking about. That big POS LeBron James. We've seen people like him. We've seen all of the far left-wing Robert De Niro's of the world standing up for justice and peace while destroying this country. And now we got Nicki Minaj. We've got Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine stepping up, doing the right thing. And supporting free speech, supporting our right as Americans, our rights to individual liberty, to the pursuit of happiness, all of the things that the left wants to destroy. The elites, the Joe Bidens, the Green New Deal supporters, the socialists, the Great Reset proponents, the Davos crowd, China, they all want to destroy our way of life. But Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine says, F you to all of them. Dave Mustaine, frontman of the metal band Megadeth, slammed mask fans and lockdown advocates during a concert in Camden, New Jersey last week, noting that the tyranny right now is, he doesn't sound like that. He probably sounds like the tyranny right now is in the schools and the tyranny is in the medical business. It really is. When ivermectin cost pennies and remdesivir cost thousands. Mustaine also lauded the festive atmosphere at the concert and said, "We're not freaking out. We're not yelling at people. Where's your effing mask?" But I just want to tell you how great it is. Look around, guys. Look to your right. Look to your left. And look how wonderful this is. Mustaine said after noting he was having a great effing time to thunderous applause. Where's your effing mask? Where's your effing mask, you loud cow? That's what he said. He said, we're not freaking out. We're not yelling at people for their mask. Where's your effing mask? Where's your effing mask, you loud cow? He's asking. He's saying. He's making a statement. He's saying, look at us together. We're gathered peacefully. We're having a good time. And we're not destroying our brothers and sisters by demanding that they wear their effing mask. Quote, "See, the thing right now that's going on is tyranny," Mustaine continued. "This is called tyranny. Look it up. When you get home, look it up. And tyranny isn't only in government. Tyranny right now is in the schools. Tyranny is in the medical business. We have the power, especially us heavy metal fans. We have the power to change this. We all do. Whether you're Nicki Minaj fans, whether you're heavy metal Dave Mustaine Megadeth fans, we all have the power to change this. But just like I said in the beginning, we're in this twilight zone. We're in this weird dystopia, this psychotic upside down world we found ourselves in, where celebrities are controlling the narrative and our leaders are powerless because they're psychopaths trying to destroy our way of life. Joe Biden is literally trying to destroy our way of life.